Hello. So today I read about three articles that had to do with veganism, being and vegan and how that like would help the environment, if that helps the environment, and like just globally what's going on with being a vegan. Um so the first article was about like why we have to change the food we eat to help the planet. So it was saying that many diets are based around meat, um, and there's a lot of environmental costs to eating steak every night. Also, that the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations said that the emissions that come from global livestock amount to about 7.1 gigatons of carbon dioxide each year. Um, and then they said that this basically represents 14.5% of greenhouse gas emissions that are caused by human centered activities. So, waste is also a problem. 1.3 billion tons of food produced each year go to waste. And what they're basically telling in this article is that we need to change our diet. Be and also the reason why this is happening is that there are increased concerns about climate change and animal welfare, um, and that's what's leading us to a more like meat and dairy free diet. Um, Also, supermarkets. We're seeing that supermarkets and restaurants, fast food places, they're like starting to offer meat-free products or plant-based products. Um, Places like Burger King is offering plant-based products. The FAC says that insects are also like good for replacing meat because they are a good source of protein, vitamins, and amino acids. Eating them also has less of an impact on our planet than meat. We have to change our attitudes. We should either start growing our own food or buy locally. And since we have trade, we've developed supply chains. So the longer that food travels, the more processed it is, so that it can last longer. So that means that it has less nutritional value, and that's not good for us. We want healthy foods. Also, when it comes to meat production, I read this in another article that was about how we need to adjust our diets after coronavirus. This one had to like it tied in coronavirus into the article. So how meat production is linked to habitat destruction, and it leads to an increase in deforestation. Um, these animals basically end up in crowded areas or exotic markets, like the one said to be responsible for coronavirus. Um, Basically, what they're trying to get at is that factory farming is linked to viruses like the African swine fever. Um, and scientists have basically warned us that if we continue to farm meat in unsustainable ways, how we're doing now with the cows, and it just keeps getting worse, there will be an increase in viruses because of this unsustainable way of growing our potential food. But then I found this other article that was about how a vegan diet is actually not as sustainable as is promised. So they were saying that basically veganism is not the most effective solution to climate change, which I thought was very like a broad of a statement. Like I don't think anybody was saying that it was gonna change the whole like climate change, like that it was gonna stop climate change. Anyways, so it was saying that limiting the intake of all animal produced foods was going to leave resources unutilized, and a diet might not be as sustainable as the world thinks. Um, they were saying that diets with meat can feed more people, and if most of the population went vegan, then agriculture may not be able to provide for every single person like all the plants and plant-based foods that they need. Providing vegan food all year long would also be a problem. With the rising popularity of veganism, we would need to basically provide fruits and vegetables that are not in season, and it says that it would take more energy to produce those things, and it would be coupled with packaging and shipping, which would end up harming the environment still. Also, it said that plant-based foods, well, basically the same thing, that it affects the environment. Some foods leave a carbon footprint simply because they're imported by air, and we know that airplanes, they release things that we don't want in our atmosphere. It was basically saying at the end that for success, we need to grow our own produce, which is basically what the first article said, that we need to grow our own produce or buy locally. I think that they make very good points, because either way, like, we're still harming our environment, but I think that we're harming it less by eating plants, because do you rather kill animals or do you rather eat plants? I think we should. I mean, I'm not imposing my opinion on anybody, but I think that a plant-based diet is a very good option.